I'm Sam Taylor with Swim with Purpose. Very happy this Friday afternoon to be joined by Diane Strong. Diane is the Executive Director of Bourbon on the Banks, and what a great event that is, and we're happy to have her here today. So, how are you doing today, Diane?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Good. Well, thank you for being here. So, a lot of people who will be seeing this podcast are not familiar with Bourbon on the Banks. I know some people will be very familiar. So, if you could maybe start off and give a little background on Bourbon on the Banks.
Well, it started in 2019. 2020, we canceled for the pandemic, and we've been going strong ever since. Um, I was involved in 2019, but took over as event director the following year. And let's see here. It's the main event is the festival. Takes place on the first Saturday in October, so that's the 5th this year. We actually have over 70 distilleries that are coming this year. We say over 60 to be safe, but and there's some breweries and wineries. Your ticket gets you into the event. You get to sample from whomever you choose, and there are 6 live music stations along the way. It's just background music. It's not stages. The main event is the sampling and talking to distillers and learning about products and stuff. But the music is just absolutely lovely as you walk down the way. And then we've got a food court. We have some merchants that sell bourbon related products there. We always say this isn't a craft show. It's very specific products that we allow to be sold in there. And the event takes place along the Kentucky River, and it's a great event. There's several events associated with Bourbon on the Banks, but that's the main one on Saturday.
Yeah, I attended that last year for the first time, and I was totally blown away. It was so much bigger than I expected. There was so much more interesting stuff. I mean, like one of the things that was really cool for me was there was a guy who made furniture out of bourbon barrels, and I ended up buying a couple of those, to put the bourbon in, and but along the way too, there was so many good bourbons and whiskeys and even other different types of alcoholic products there to sample. So it was really fun, and I can say that as a having been a participant. So
Yeah, and we invite some bourbon societies to participate. They offer some educational things to the attendees. There's also bourbon influencers who are there. There's lots of media, and so it's really neat. You'll bump into some of your favorite podcasters and your favorite YouTubers, and it's neat.
so how many people are you expecting this year?
Well, we capped out and at 2,000 last year. We sold out. It was our first year. We from 2019 on, we grew by approximately 30% every year. So we were expecting to sell out last year, and we did. And we are not increasing capacity. We will not compromise the integrity of the event by increasing the attendees, because it changes the event, and that's not what we want. We want to keep it fairly small and intimate, so you're not standing in line for an hour to get a drink, and you're not, having to push your way through crowds. That's what makes us special, we think.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And it was special. I mean, there were tiny little lines, but you never had to wait more than a minute or two to, talk to somebody, from the distillery. And so that's a really good philosophy, I think.
Yeah.
So there are some other events you have around that weekend. Do you want to talk to those a little bit? I guess before I
Sure.
say that, people who are listening to podcasts, you just heard this will sell out. So you do want to get your tickets now when you hear this, because it will be sold out. And the other thing is, these other events that she's going to talk about now, they're going to sell out too. So but go ahead, Diane. I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
and
interrupt
just
you.
so you know, we have already sold out our special access tickets. Our early access are limited, so those will go next. Uh, and then general admission is follows that. We do have a twilight ticket. You can come in from 4 until 6, and that's a little bit less expensive, but especially if you're wanting to go in at 1 o'clock, I would hurry and get those. But yeah, so we encourage people who, 60% of our attendees last year were from out of state, not just out of town, but out of state. And so people are coming a long ways to experience Bourbon on the Banks, and we want to give them something to do to make it, a full vacation. Although a lot of people arrive early and they go visit distilleries, which they absolutely should, because we've got we're up to 4 or 5 just in Frankfurt alone, and there's probably 20 within 20 minutes of driving. So it's easy to entertain yourself that way. But starting on Thursday, we have a Bourbon Bell tour that so it's a 2-story boat that does an excursion along the river, and we have Heather Wibbles, who is a award-winning mixologist, who is going to be teaching the people on the boat how to mix cocktails with bitters. I know it sounds different, but she said it's one of her most favorite classes that she teaches, and people absolutely love it. OH Ingram is sponsoring that event. They're providing the bourbon, and what's unique about their bourbon is they actually age it on the river. So it's very appropriate for this event. And those tickets are extremely limited. There's only 30 for that event. So if you're wanting to do that, which that's a Frankfurt thing to do right there, is go on this Bourbon Bell. I would definitely encourage people to do that quickly. And then Whiskey Thief Distillery is going to be doing the kickoff party. And that's at their distillery on Thursday as well, starting at 6 until 9. They'll have live music. They will have some free tours. Normally they charge for them. They're not going to be charging for them. There's an open bar. There's food trucks, bonfire, some games, things like that. So that'll be fun. They're one of our sponsors for the Friday VIP. So this is another thing that they do for us. It's a lot of fun. Then starting on Friday is the event that you guys are actually getting the net proceeds from, and that is the tasting or the bourbon pairing with Peggy No Stevens and Freddie Johnson, Freddie's kind of a local celebrity, but he's known all throughout the world for his being a 3rd generation visitor guide at Buffalo Trace. He's been in several documentaries, but Neat being the first one that really introduced him to the world. We knew how special he was before he did that, but he's been here a long time and he's phenomenal. And so is Peggy. She knows her stuff. So that's going to be a great event. Lime Water is the catering for that, and it's an amazing, fairly new restaurant here in Frankfurt. So we're excited to pair the bourbon with them. Buffalo Trace is providing the pours for that. We haven't determined which bourbons they're going to be offering for that, but I'm excited to find out. And then Friday night, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for selecting us for that. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to that event as well. So thank you very much.
Well, you guys, one of the things about Bourbon on the Banks, we are a nonprofit as well. And our whole purpose is to bring people to discover Frankfurt and our history and bourbon, but also to give back to our community and the people who visit it. So you guys, it fits perfectly. One thing that Frankfurt really desperately needs right now is an indoor swimming pool. When I moved here in 2017, there were 3. There was the 2 YMCAs and the KSU. And within a matter of years, we lost all 3 of those. So this runs deep in Frankfurt. So I think that this is one of the perfect beneficiaries for us.
Sorry about that.
No worries. So yeah, and then Friday, your event is at 1 p.m. And so a person can get, that light kind of a lunch with the bourbon pairing, and go home, get a little bit more dressed up, and come back at 5 o'clock for the Friday VIP reception and bourbon auction. And that runs until 8 o'clock. That is a lovely event. We have about 12 distilleries that sample their products in the garden there. You get to mingle with the master distillers, and we have a whole lineup of special guests that will be joining us for that. Freddie Johnson will be there as well. We have silent auction, and then there is a live auction, and it's really exciting. This year you'll have a barrel pick experience that you can bid on from Whiskey Thief Distillery, who is our sponsor. And then there's also going to be a barrel pick experience for a Four Roses barrel. And the proceeds from that go to DFI. And then we always get rare bourbons that go in that auction. It's a pretty exciting auction to watch too. I mean, even if you don't plan on bidding on them, it's exciting. And if you don't have deep pockets or a lot of friends to bid on these things, the silent auction is very approachable for everybody else. So that's fun. And DFI is our partner for that. They get the proceeds for most of the auction items, except for some other charities that do have a couple things in the auction. And then we get the proceeds from the Whiskey Thief barrel pick.
Nice. And that event, is that sold out?
No, we still have tickets available for all of the other events right now.
Okay. But that will sell out, right? That's going to sell out just like the festival will on Saturday.
Yes, it should, for sure. We are limited in capacity there, so yeah, get your tickets. Especially the Four Roses barrel pick; those are not easy to come by, and so those should draw quite a few people, or that should draw quite a few people. Yeah, and then Saturday, also on Friday, we've got the Bourbon Street on Broadway. I should definitely mention that. Expree Credit Union has been sponsoring that event since the beginning. It is a cherished event at this point. It's free, it's family friendly. It's different from everything else we have downtown. It's kind of a circus performer themed thing. So we've got a circus going on. We've got fire acts. We've got belly dancers, and last year we had a jazz band that was roaming around. We have all kinds of live art performances going on. So it's just really unique. There's food, there's drink available. It's in the mixed district, which means you can go into the bar and get a drink and walk around with your drink and go into another place. And but it's still very child friendly. We've got a kid zone that's on the old Capitol lawn, and we have a whole bunch of different entities there that offer free activities for kids, free face painting, free. It's all, you don't have to spend a dime and enjoy yourself for a great night downtown if you want.
Yeah, we participated in that last year, a Swim with Purpose, and that was one of our best events that we did last year. It was great to meet the people in the community. Lots of, like you said, lots of families with kids who were really interested in having a pool, and we got a lot of positive feedback, like you just said earlier, we really need a pool in Frankfort and Franklin County, an indoor pool, and we just don't have one. And so that was a really good event. And yeah, we had a nice little activity for the kids as all the other exhibitors did there. And so it was really fun for the kids to, throw ping pong balls at a bucket and then pick what prize they wanted to take home with them. And while their parents were learning about, Swim with Purpose. And so it was a great event for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We love it, and it brings a lot of people into the community as well, even if you're not, the ones that aren't necessarily interested in bourbon. It draws everybody. So it is fun. We should have a pub stroll on Friday as well. Then of course the festival is on Saturday with early access at 1. The event goes until 6 p.m. and then we have starting from 5 until 9, we have the Goodwood after party, which takes place in the farmers market parking lot. That's open to the public and that's free as well.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's amazing what you guys have done in a short time, and how this has become such a part of the fabric really of Frankfurt. Everybody looks forward to this event, and you've done a great job.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and it's so fun to see the event grow. And one of my favorite things is the when we award the checks to the beneficiaries, because that's really what this is all about. It's kind of like cheers to a successful year, and look at what we get to do. It's great. I think it's a win-win for everybody. The city supports it, and the community, I think they support it. I have to be, I'm so thankful that they do, because we do kind of inundate the town, and you know take over kind of, and but they're very supportive, and I think they know that our heart's in the right place.
Oh, absolutely. And you're bringing a lot of people into that area, so that helps those businesses that are in downtown Frankfurt for that weekend immensely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll come back. A lot of our guests do come back because they love Frankfurt, and they didn't get to do all the things they wanted to do. And I can't tell you how many of our attendees come back every year as well, just for the event. So it is really cool.
Well, I know as long as I'm able to, I'll be coming every year to the event.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, we
So,
love the repeat people.
well, I certainly appreciate your time this afternoon, and I really appreciate what you've done for Swim with Purpose by, making us the beneficiary of the food pairing event on Friday. So we're really honored by that, and we wish you great success at the event and good weather this week. I mean, this in October.
Absolutely. We don't talk about it. It's going to be amazing.
Yes,
I've
yes.
got a thing with the weather thing, guys. So it's all good. And we're thankful that you guys are doing what you're doing. I believe in what you're doing. I grew up in northern Minnesota. I had 5 lakes within walking distance of my house, and grew up swimming. But I also was a competitive swimmer in middle school, and as an adult, I was a triathlete. So those pools are just, they're so important, and we need a place for kids to learn to swim. It's 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 definitely something that needs to happen. So we appreciate the fact that you guys are taking this on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate those kind words, and yeah, we're really getting close to we're in the design phase now, and we're close to getting the funds we need allocated so that we can really get the construction going, and that's the next big step, is getting funds allocated.
Right. Well, and if your people watching this, do want to contribute and also get something, a great experience out of it, go buy those bourbon pairing tickets. If you go to bourbononthebanks.org, we've got all the events listed, and you can get tickets to all of them there. But and
Perfect.
it's that event is $100. And can't remember how many pours you get, but you get 3 different pours, and I do believe they're a 1.5 ounce pour, and then there's 3 appetizers that are paired with it, and they're heavy appetizers. So, and it's about an hour-and-a-half event.
Yeah, so that's a great way to spend an afternoon, and helps Swim with Purpose and Bourbon on the Bank. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
So
thanks for having me.
thank you for joining, Diane, and wish you continued success. Thank you.
Yes, you too.
Take care.
Bye bye.